If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as follow me and subscribe to me on all my other social media platforms. What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with part 2 of this week's Under the Radar for the week of June 9th, as, like I said, 6 albums came out, aside from Godflesh and Legion of the Damned, that I wanted to check out. But before I get started, again a reminder, there is a giveaway going on for when I hit 4,000 subscribers. I'm still about 300 shy of that mark, so if you want to enter the giveaway, go to my YouTube channel page, and the video to enter should be the channel trailer. Just click on that video and then leave a comment in the comment section of that video, and you're entered into the giveaway for now 8 CDs. There are 2 more CDs I got added to the giveaway, and I'll let you guys know that in a future video. But yeah, once I reach 4,000, I'll put all the commenters' names into a randomizer and pick the winner, and then they get 8 CDs. So yeah, and also thank you guys who have subscribed and are helping me to get to that 4,000 mark. But without further ado, let's get back to business with Under the Radar. So kicking things off for part 2, we have Avarice with their self-titled debut. So this is a Danish melodic death thrash band. And I was curious about this one because, you know, hybrid of melodic death metal and thrash metal. And I was kind of expecting to hear something kind of close to a band like, I would say like Soilwork, that kind of balances both of those styles out, or at least it used to way back in the day. No, I did not get that. In fact, I got more elements of bands like The Haunted, Slayer, Testament, and for a newer band I could compare them to, Schizophrenia. Although I will say Avarice, not as thrash forward as a band like Schizophrenia, but when they do get into that thrashiness, they can thrash. But most of this album's all about that more almost melodeath sound, but not with the speed, more in the riff work and the melodies that you get on here. But these melodies are evil and sinister, which gives off a little bit of that Testament and Slayer vibe. But the flat-out aggression on here you can get from pretty much all 4 of the bands I brought up: Slayer, Schizophrenia, The Haunted, and Testament. Production, actually pretty solid production and mix. Not too polished, not too muddy, just right, and solid groove all throughout as well. Although I will say my main complaint, I do wish they could have gotten into more thrashy parts within the songs and maybe cut down on the grooves a little bit, because for me, when it comes to thrash, I want to hear more of that blazing speed and just hear what kind of chaos we're in for. But overall, pretty solid, pretty good debut. I give this one an 8 out of 10. This band has potential, and I think if we get another release from them in like a year or 2, I say they'll probably top this one, because this was actually some pretty damn good mellow death thrash. But now we move on to the second album of part 2, and that is The Bleeding with Monokrator. So this came out on Redefining Darkness, which is a label I pretty much enjoy most of everything that they've put out. And this is British death thrash, so now we're into like traditional death thrash on here, and boy is it death thrash to the fullest. Like, thrash aggression mixed with that death metal brutality. Love the guitar tone and the bass tone on here. It's gritty when it comes down to guitars and grisly with the bass. And I love how this album, I feel, does something that the Avarice album didn't do, and that's, of course, get more into speed, and when the grooves do come in, they're just peppered in there, instead of, with the Avarice album, it was more like a 50-50 split, whereas here, this is more like 70% thrash, 30% groove, which is kind of the ratio I like, personally. And I got a lot of hints on this album, again from Testament, but also like Sepultura, Cannibal Corpse, and Morbid Angel. So it's like a hodgepodge of those bands kind of wrapped together into this band. So If you are a fan of Sepultura, Cannibal Corpse, Morbid Angel, and Testament, I think you will really like this album. I give this one an 8.5 out of 10. I thought this was really fucking good, and this is actually the band's third release, so probably need to go back and listen to the first two albums to kind of hear their evolution and progression up to this album. But yeah, really good stuff. But now we get to the final album, and perhaps one of the bigger releases that I didn't do a singular review for, and that is Scar Symmetry with the Singularity Phase 2 Xenotaph. So, full disclosure, I've never listened to a full Scar Symmetry album before, and I know they had the Singularity Phase 1 9 years ago, and I probably should have listened to that before listening to Phase 2, but listening to Phase 2, so of course for those who don't know, Scar Symmetry is a Swedish melodic death metal band, but here I would argue they're more progressive melodic death metal. Like, it's very proggy on this album with the lush and lavish production and atmosphere here and there. And even like the clean vocals. Like, I love the balance of the clean vocals and the growling vocals on this album. And of course, like, everybody's listed as doing like vocal parts of some sort, whether it's the harsh vocalist and the clean vocalist, and then everybody else doing like background vocals. But I love the songwriting approach with the more proggy songwriting chops, but with that melodic death metal hindsight. Not hindsight, mindsight. Or mindset. I cannot fucking speak. I'm recording this at almost midnight, so I'm a bit tired, so you'll have to forgive me for that. But yeah, while it is very proggy and melodic, when it does get heavy, it gets fucking heavy. And also the guitar solos. Mwah, double chef's kiss. But yeah, epic sounding as well, which I actually really like about this album. And of course, lots of hints to some classic mellow death or prog death bands. So basically, if you are a fan of Soilwork, At the Gates, dare I say Edge of Sanity, and Witherscape, you will dig this, and I absolutely dug it. 9 out of 10. This was a great album, and I need to go back and listen to Singularity Phase 1 and hear how that was in comparison to Singularity Phase 2, and then maybe listening to them together to get the full scope of everything. But yeah, that does it for Under the Radar this week. Of course, this is all just my opinion. What did you guys think of these 3 albums? Of course, the albums themselves will be in the description box for you guys to check out. But until next time, keep your horns high and your dreams wet.